Currently, more than 100,000 people in the U.S. are waiting for a life-saving organ donation. To put that in perspective, the largest NFL football stadium in the U.S. could not fit that number of patients on the national transplant waiting list. It's a lot of people.
When we talk about organ donation, they ask why, when they should be asking why not. Why not reach out to help someone?
Dr. Bob Strata is a professor of surgery and director of transplantation at Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist. He says the hospital's transplant team performs more kidneys and pancreas transplants than any other transplant center in North Carolina. There's actually a transplant every 33 hours. Although the center performs transplants at such a high rate, Dr. Strata says it is only the tip of the iceberg when we look at the need for organs.
There's still over 90,000 people on the waiting list on any given day, and that has not changed in the last decade. And if you look at people who make it to the kidney waiting list, the odds of receiving a kidney are only about 50-50. And that's really a shocking statistic.
Dr. Strata says the challenge is promoting organ donation. A deceased donor can save 8 lives and enhance more than 50. Through a living donor, you can primarily benefit one recipient, but he says that is still a tremendous gift.
Living donor kidneys last about twice as long as deceased donor kidneys. And there's a lot of safeguards in place. The donors do extremely well. It's minimally invasive surgery, and it's a win-win situation. The donor does well, the recipient does well. The donor is basically providing the gift of life to someone.
While people on the transplant waiting list may prefer to find a living donor, sometimes they just can't wait. And when the time comes, any donation helps. In March, WFMY News 2's Lauren Coleman introduced you to a Mebane woman in search of a life-saving kidney. Since that story aired, she now has a brand new beginning.
For nearly 5 years, Katina Johnson waited anxiously for a kidney. Today, she wakes up thankful for a second chance at life.
I feel really good. I'm glad I got the call after recovery, having the little some pains where my incision is. But other than that, I feel really good.
I did a lot of crying when I first started it.
We first introduced you to Johnson in early March. She had stage 5 chronic kidney disease and did dialysis at home 7 days a week, 8 hours a day. March 31st, she received a surprising phone call.
You know, the kidney coordinator was just like, she said, you need to come to the hospital, come and get your blood drawn. We have a room for you. And she said, these kidneys look good. They look really good.
Though Johnson had her sights set on a living donor, she successfully received her kidney from a deceased donor on April 1st.
When you learn that, you know, you have chronic kidney disease, is that don't give up, don't get depressed, don't get defeated. You go home and research and figure out what you can do to slow the progression of it down.
She hopes her story encourages those waiting on a life-saving transplant to advocate for themselves.
I'm going to get a kidney. I said, whether it's living or deceased, I said, it's going to happen, because I said, I just did this story with News 2, and look how much is being shared. And then people were calling me. People would say, well, I'm praying for you. And then some people would be like, well, what do I need to do to help you? It's going to change my life big time. Like I said, I thank God every day for this transplant.
We hear a lot of stories about loved ones giving the gift of life with a living organ donation. Unfortunately, not all donors willing to help are a match. That is why a Greensboro man's now on a search to help his friend find a life-saving kidney.
We posed for a selfie in the cabin.
Like 2 peas in a pod.
We're gonna do that again soon. We got to.
Friends Rick James and Mike Madison are always side by side.
We both love to shop. We both love to travel. We both love to go for long walks, hikes, things like that. We enjoy being outside.
There isn't much the two wouldn't do for one another. 12 years ago, James lost most of his vision due to an antibiotic used to treat a foot infection. Last summer, his health took another turn. He was admitted to the hospital for acute kidney injury. It was during that hospital stay doctors discovered a subdural hematoma on the left side of his brain and performed emergency surgery.
And it just all happened really fast.
I don't know, I was almost out of it completely. There's 3 weeks of that time that I don't remember.
During his recovery from surgery, doctors delivered more unexpected news.
When I was working with the nephrologist, and my kidney function just kept going down and down every time I went in. When they said transplant, I was like, holy crap, you know? I pretty much fell out of the chair.
The staples going across there.
That's when James began his search for a living kidney donor.
You had so much to say, but you couldn't say it.
And his friend immediately volunteered to be tested.
I look up to Rick because I see that he has gone through so many things in his life and has not let any of those things hold him back. Unfortunately, I was told that I'm not able to donate. Reason I can't donate is because I am highly prone, they tell me, for kidney stones. That meant a lot to me. You know, you kind of get emotional about it because this day and age, you don't find friends like him. Everybody's so involved with their life and, you know, what they're doing that they kind of overlook everybody. And Mike doesn't do that.
For now, the search for a kidney continues. With the support of his family and friends, he's not giving up hope.
We all need a friend like Mike. If you're considering becoming an organ donor, Dr. Bob Strata wants to dispel myths that may stop you. Number one is that only one person can benefit from a single donor.
And a deceased organ donor can help up to 6 to 8 solid organ recipients. And when you consider eye and tissue donation, you know, upwards of 50 people can benefit from a deceased organ donor.
Every person is born with 2 kidneys, but Dr. Strata says only 1 kidney is needed to last an entire lifetime. For those who qualify to be a living donor, he says there are several safeguards in place.
And I think there's still a concern that the surgery is extremely painful and people will be disabled or out of work for an extended period of time. But the surgery can be done with minimally invasive techniques and even robotic techniques so that the donor is out of the hospital in a day or two and they're back to full-time activity within 2 to 3 weeks.
Remember, right now, 3,700 North Carolinians need a life-saving organ. Sign up if you can.